What happens when religion tells you to give up on your dream? And you actually do. At 18, my husband Brandon was an all-American water polo player, recruited by top schools like UCLA. Full ride, bright future, the whole thing. But in the Mormon world, college kids take a back seat to the mission call. So instead of dorm life and D1 competition, he spent 2 years freezing in Nova Scotia, Canada, knocking doors, teaching strangers about God, and wondering what happened to the boy who used to win everything. And here's the kicker. He thought God sent him there, but really, it was just his mom editing his mission papers to say he had asthma and allergies. This is the story of how faith, family, and one tiny lie changed everything. You're listening to Blame It on Mel, shots of truth with no chaser. 18-year-old Mormon boys aren't picking colleges. They're picking missions. While everyone else is headed to dorms, they're packing scriptures, and they're buying suits for everyday mission life. What happens when that boy is an all-American athlete recruited by top D1 schools? And his mom, she tells the coaches that he's unavailable because he's going to serve the Lord. Hold up. You've got a mission to serve before you can chase your dream? Today we're talking to my husband, Brandon. He is joining us. He also has a friend. He's wearing a mustache today. We have an 80s prom theme this weekend event, an auction. And he's decided that 80s is all about the mustache. I'm a little bit concerned why you think that. But
Tom Selleck vibes.
Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck.
I mean, do you think that he was like prom? Like it's 80s prom. Do you think he was sporting a mustache?
I think he's had a mustache since he was 10 years old.
You think so?
Yes, I know so.
Well, it looks great. I'm so excited about it.
I can see that.
Okay, so Brandon.
Yes.
You and I have been married for how many years?
22.
22 years. Long time. We go to a lot of places and people stop and they ask you if you were a professional athlete.
All the time.
Because you're gigantic.
Correct.
You're 6'7".
6'7", 265.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, but what you look like now is not what I met.
No, I was a
right?
lot skinnier before. Yeah, I was probably like 220, 225.
You were just fresh off your mission.
Yep.
Yeah.
Less than a year, yeah.
Yeah, less than a year. Mm-hmm. And that's not what you look like before you went on a mission.
Nope. I left on my mission at about 245.
Okay.
Pretty ripped, yeah. I was pretty stacked, yeah, when I left, yeah.
Yeah. Big dude.
Big
right?
Dude. Yep.
So I always look at your face whenever people approach us because obviously they see me on your arm and they think, well, that's a professional athlete's wife. But they approach you and they ask you if you're a professional athlete. A lot of them think that you played football, right? And they want to probably know who you are so they can get your autograph, picture, or whatever. Like we walk through places and people are staring at us all the time.
Yeah, more so in foreign countries than here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. A lot in foreign countries, mostly because they don't really watch football. But they think that you are a professional athlete because of your build and also because you got a little trophy wife hanging on you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always watch your face, though, whenever people ask you.
Yeah.
And what do you think happens? I've told you this before.
You have. It's I flush a little bit, kind of sink a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, there's two reasons. One is because I missed an opportunity to be a college or professional athlete, and I think we're going to talk about that.
We are.
The second reason is because the sport I played in the state we live in isn't a sport. So it's kind of like, well, I played a sport that people don't really know or understand in the north part of the United States, which was swimming and water polo. So there's two reasons to it. One, I'm like, oh, I got to talk about this sport. They don't know what I'm talking about. The second one is I do miss out and regret the missing out on some of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember when we first met and you always kind of were like, talk about things. And you had mentioned that you played sports and you told me that it was swimming and water polo. And I
don't think you knew what water polo was. I had to explain it to you.
Yeah. Well, also I was like, those are not sports. Those are not sports. Football, basketball, baseball, track, like those are sports. Soccer, those are sports.
Yeah.
But
and I played all those except for football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you didn't play basketball in high school.
Not in high school, no.
Yeah, because during basketball season was...
it wasn't the same season, but you at bigger schools, you had to kind of commit. It was year-round. The sport I played was year-round.
It was year-round, especially in California, because it's highly competitive in California, right?
Yeah.
So how early did you realize that you were good? Like, you were a great athlete. When did you notice this as a small child? Was it later on?
In like swimming and whatnot, or
everything?
Any sport? I played all the sports growing up. So baseball, basketball. I played all the way, in elementary school, like all the kids do. And I was fairly good. Like I was a pitcher in baseball and then first base because I was tall. Basketball, I was always tall. So I did pretty well. I wasn't like a ridiculous basketball player, but I was pretty good. I did okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was always okay at sports. The swimming and stuff, I didn't start till 8th grade.
Okay.
Right before high school. Okay. So between 7th and 8th grade.
Just swimming, not water polo.
It was water polo only. So we did a swim lesson in the summer because my mom was just trying to get us like active. So I did a swimming lesson thing.
You didn't take swimming lessons till you were in 8th grade?
I already knew how to swim, but I might have. I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was a water polo clinic they did as part of the swim lessons. It's like advanced swim lessons. So I must have been done swim lessons before. My friend did it. And so we went in between 7th and 8th grade and did like a 4-6 week, like a swim lesson, but it was water polo. They taught you the basics of water polo. And so that guy was the JV coach who taught it. And he kind of was like, you're a good swimmer. You need to play water polo. Like he was the one who was like, you are a natural. You need to play. Still remember Alex was his name.
Okay.
Great dude. And he was just like, you're really good. Like you're a natural. You need to play. We were playing with high school kids and I was in like 7th, 8th grade.
But you kind of heard that in all the sports that you played.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty good, yeah.
You were a lot like our kids, especially our oldest two, that they can just show up and they are just naturally good at everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can play a lot of sports, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the start of my freshman year of high school, that summer, I showed up for summer league.
Okay.
Just showed up and to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened your freshman year?
I made varsity by the end of the year. So I started on JV, and then by halfway through, I was playing, sharing time on varsity. I wasn't the varsity starter, but I was sharing a lot of time. When we went to state, I was the goalie they put in, and the other guy was a senior, and he was really upset. I still remember that. And, yeah.
So by the end of your senior year, or by the end of your freshman year,
I was varsity.
You
starter.
took a senior spot.
Correct. Yeah.
So you went from never playing before to taking over a senior spot by the end of your freshman year. Well, and you're also built for it because you have your wingspan is longer than you are tall, right?
Yes,
like you're 6'7", but your wingspan is like 6'10" or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is extremely helpful as a goalie, right?
Oh yeah, and then swimming in general. Yeah.
So then, how did the rest of your high school?
Did swimming. Did the only time I actually only was on JV was my freshman year of swimming, and then I was a varsity starter all the rest of the years. Was all league every year so 3 years in a row I was all league. Then I made all state team twice, and then the all America team.
Yeah, so you were an all American your senior year.
Yeah, yeah, I was pretty good.
Yeah. I looked you up in the paper.
Did you?
Yeah, I fact checked you.
And what'd you find out?
Yeah, well, so like one of the games, and it must have been in the, I don't know, it was some tournament. I don't know if it was state tournament or whatever, but you pretty consistently had almost double the saves of the opposing team's goalie.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Yeah. I would have broke our school record except for my senior year. We were short players, so I wasn't the goalie my senior year. I switched out into what they call the field. I was a field player on there. And that's when I made the All-State All-America, was doing that as well.
What does that mean, a field player?
You're scoring goals. You're out swimming around. You're not the goalie. Anybody but the goalie. Yeah, there's 6-7 people on the court or the field. One of them's a goalie, and then everybody else. Yeah. And I was the main position on the team.
Not just in water polo, but you were also an excellent swimmer, because when we went back sometime after we were married, you wanted to stop in and say hi to your high school coach. And he made a point of telling the players there, the athletes, that you were in the record book a couple of times. And this is just something that you did just to stay in shape for water polo, but you you broke records. You held records for swimming.
I had a few, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was pretty fast swimmer. I wasn't like a super elite like college swimmer. Probably could have been if I actually liked it.
Applied yourself.
I didn't like swimming back and forth. We only did it because it was to keep us in shape for water polo, and that was my favorite sport.
Okay.
But we broke some records, went to state, did all the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were good.
But same thing. You have all kinds of accolades for swimming on top of water polo. Like your Letterman's jacket is absolutely covered with all kinds of patches and awards and medals.
Yeah. Yeah, I did pretty good.
So then did you start getting recognized by college recruiters?
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly when. At some point during my senior year, I was contacted by 2 different coaches, and our coach had played at UCLA.
Okay.
And so he kind of helped us out. And then a friend of mine who was a year older than me ended up going to UC Irvine. And so he had told him about me, and so I was recruited by both of those schools. UCLA less so. They called. I talked to them a few times, met the coach at a tournament, and then UC Irvine I talked to a bunch of times, and he actually came to our house and we met and sat down and did the whole thing.
And offered you a scholarship.
He offered me a scholarship to play, yeah.
Because your high school teammate, he played at UC
Irvine, yeah. And he had very successful in college and played in the Olympics and was we played together. He's a phenomenal player, great friend.
And he went on to play in the Olympics.
He did a couple times, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And even has an Olympic medal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was that hard for you to see that he went and did that?
Well, let's talk about why I didn't.
Okay. Getting ahead of myself. Yeah. So, what happened? What happened? Why didn't you go to play at the next level? Why did you not take the scholarship?
So the coach, and I forget his name, but he was a really old guy, came, sat down, said all the things, wanted me to play, offered me a scholarship to go to UC Irvine. And at some point during and I don't remember exactly how it all went, but at some point during the conversation, it was my mom and my mom said, well, he's going on a mission, so will you hold that for 2 years? And I just remember like my heart sank because I was like, they're not going to do that. Like, you just knew as a 17-year-old, you knew. At that time, missionaries went out at 19, correct,
not 18,
you got it,
today.
Mm-hmm.
And so you still had 3 years, technically.
Yeah, it would have been 3 years
right?
away. Yeah.
It would have been 3 years away. So for that same coach to still be there and even wanting you to come in, and you're not going to be the same person.
No,
athlete.
And he kind of knew that, and you could tell as soon as that was said. And I didn't know what to say in that moment. I was 17, 18 years old, didn't know like what to do, what to say. I just kind of shrunk in my chair, and you could see the conversation kind of shifted to where the coach was just like, well, call me when you get back. Like, we'll see, we'll see where you're at and see what we can do. It's, but we can't hold a scholarship for you for that.
It was a polite no.
It was a polite no. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, because when your mom asked, will you hold it for him? He's got a mission.
They said they don't hold scholarships, yeah.
So before your mom had said that, did serving a mission cross your mind?
Well, yeah, I was raised Mormon, so that was always kind of what you were supposed to do. Okay. So whether I was 100% committed to do it or not, no, I wasn't at that point. I wasn't I was going to church and doing all the things, but I was also doing other things that necessarily shouldn't have been doing as a Mormon boy. So I was kind of like half in, half out, walking the fence all the time at that point. Yeah. So
do you feel like you were doing it for the appearance as far as
going on a mission?
Going on a mission, going to church, all of those things. Did you feel like it was just something that was expected of you? Did you have a choice to not go to, if you didn't want to go to church, could you not go to church?
I mean, I suppose I could have threw a fit, but not really. I mean, it was expected. Everybody went. Like, that's what we did. Yeah, it was an expectation. You went to church. You did the Wednesday night activities. You did seminary. I kind of got out of seminary because we did early morning swimming. Okay. So I didn't have to do that. I think at least my senior year, maybe my junior year.
So you didn't graduate from seminary?
I did, because I had to do these papers. I had to like fill out all these papers and do like home study. And you did it, or
your mom did it?
Oh, I did them, but I didn't. They weren't that hard. It was like fill in the blank. Like you could do a whole semester in an hour. It wasn't like the teacher was super cool lady. She's just like, here, do these 10 things and you're good. it wasn't a big deal.
And you were an Eagle Scout.
I was an Eagle Scout.
That's the top of the top, right?
Yeah. So at that time in our ward, it was kind of an unwritten rule. You couldn't get your driver's license till you got it.
Really?
So
who
it was
decided that?
It's just what they did. It was
just
nobody's rule.
Everyone just kind of agreed to do.
Most
like
everybody,
all of the parents.
Yeah, they just kind of did it, and it was like, get it before you get your driver's. Because also once you get your driver's license, you're not getting that done. You're getting a car and you're out and you're chasing girls and doing all the things. I didn't know if it was for real or not, but I wasn't going to risk it.
Well, you don't really seem like you questioned much.
No, I just kind of did it because
whatever it was, even as far as going on a mission, you didn't really question that. Like, as far as if you didn't want to go, you didn't question the fact that, like, could you have pushed that with the, with the offer to play at that college? What do you think would have happened? Did that even cross your mind to argue with your mom or say, hey, I don't want to do that?
So the way I see like the church is that all of these things are a multiple choice test and there's only one answer. So should you go on a mission? Yes. Every young worthy member should go on a mission. That was what we were told. Everybody went. So it wasn't like you're told this your entire life. So when you're going and doing all the things you're supposed to do, you're brainwashed in a way that this is just what you do. And if you don't, you're going to hell. Your life won't be good. You won't be happy. You won't have all the blessings of like following the church and doing what you're supposed to do. So at some point it doesn't become a choice. It just becomes what you've been told and that's what you do. And everybody does it and you're supposed to do it. So did I feel like I really had a choice? Not really, but I also don't feel like I was forced, if that makes sense.
Yeah, how does that work?
It's what you're supposed to do.
You're not forced.
Yeah.
But you also don't feel like you could have said, hey, I don't want to go on a mission. I really want to go play water polo in college. I want to get my education.
And that's how I felt for quite a while. And I just didn't feel like I could say it. Like it wasn't the right thing to do. It wasn't good. It wasn't what God wanted.
But why did you feel that way?
Well, because as a youth, that's what everything you're taught, everything in the home, everything at church, your whole life is centered around church. All of like, I felt like as a kid, every like church milestone was celebrated.
Okay.
And like my parents were always supportive of me playing sports. My mom went to almost every game. She was super supportive, did a good job, but it wasn't as big of a deal as like when you hit the church milestones. When you hit like it's a super big deal. You got to do it. Like everything, all the praise and gratification and everything came mostly from church things is how I felt about it as a kid. So that was just another thing. Like you're going to let everybody down if you don't do it. You're going to let your ward down. You're going to let your family down. You're going to let all these people down if you don't do it. And so you get to the point where you feel like you don't have a choice. It's just what you're supposed to do.
So you felt as though you got more praise out of church milestones than you did out of anything else that you did in life?
It seemed like it was more important growing up. Yeah. All the church things were the most important of anything.
Why did it seem that way?
Because they were talked about, they were prepared for, this is coming up. You need to, you're going to turn 12, you're going to get the priesthood. That's a big deal. Like all of those things were just kind of hyped up. It's hyped up at home. It's hyped up at church. And then those things happen and you're just like praised for, now you get to do this. Now you get to do that. And it just seemed like everything within the church was made to be a much bigger deal than anything else.
I still just cannot wrap my head around how you went from just having all of these opportunities and how you didn't feel like you were in charge of your future.
That's how it feels. Yeah. That's how it feels when you're within the church and an organization is that, like I said, it's every fork in the road is a multiple choice test. Go left or go right, but there's only one answer. What the church says, go right. Go on a mission when you're 19, get home, get married, have kids, go to the temple. All those things are just lined up for you. So the church talks about free agency and being able to choose and do what you want. And yes, technically I could have said, no, I don't want to go on a mission. I go on water polo. I want to do that. I want to go to college and do those things. But you get to a point where you're so like indoctrinated into it that if you don't make the choice the church tells you, something bad's going to happen or whatever.
Or blessings will be held.
Blessings will be held. Your life won't be good. It'll fall apart. You'll turn into an alcoholic. You'll start doing drugs. I mean, pick the consequence, there will be bad consequences if you don't follow the plan that God has set for you, which that plan is what the church tells you to do at all times. And there's very little choice as far as like how you live your life.
So do you feel like this plan is that the church puts forth? Do you feel like that plan comes from God? Do you think that God has a plan for each and every one of his children?
What I feel and I've always felt and have come to start living the past few years is that we are taught in the church that we have free agency and we're here to learn from experiences in life. However, I don't feel the church gives you any free agency. They tell you the choices, and if you don't follow them, there's a consequence, whether it's being excommunicated or being punished or whatever, or by threatening that blessings will be gone, or if you don't do this, then you're going to lose blessings. Your family will fall apart. Your kids will do this. All the bad things will happen if you don't do that. Like it's fear. You're controlled by fear. And so when you get that into your head for your whole entire life, it's hard to break away from the fact that all these bad things are going to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah, there's very little.
Were you angry at all?
I don't know if I was really angry, disappointed that I missed out on an opportunity more than angry. I never really was angry about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Just to what could have happened? How could it have gone? Like my buddy, like granted he was better than me. He went to the Olympics multiple times. Well, that was an avenue I might've been in. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, but I feel like that's so sad.
Yeah, but life is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it is hard to not be able to have a choice over what your future is. That's
so how
hard.
I ended up going on the mission, I guess I should say too, is that, so I went and played at a junior college, did really, really well there. Same thing, got the All-America, all the MVP, we were a great team, won our national championship of whatever that was.
Okay, and why did you go there? Like, why couldn't you have gone to UC Riverside or gone to UCLA your freshman year? Why couldn't you have gone? Because you have an entire year before you would have had to have gone on a mission. And so why would you not have gone to that school instead of the community college where you were living at home?
The issue at that point was money. So I could have gone to UC Irvine and played for a year without a scholarship and then gone on a mission and come back and see how it gone.
Without a scholarship?
Yeah, they weren't going to give me a 1-year scholarship knowing
that you were going to be gone.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I could have done that, but the issue was money. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and I didn't have that money to do that, or really the know-how or the experience. There's not really much internet back then. It was kind of hard to research and figure out and get that taken care of without help and support.
Well, and you had to pay for a mission. You have to pay for that yourself, correct?
Yeah. And I had the money for that.
Even though the church is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, they still make these missionaries, these young boys, pay for their own missions.
That's how you get the commitment.
Right.
Yeah. So I went to a junior college and partied a little bit harder than I should have, and didn't feel great about that. There was a couple of times it was like way too much, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is bad. And so then
but on the flip side, do you feel like you would have done that, gone down that same path if you were, let's say that your mom didn't say anything to these recruiters and you would have went and played there? Yeah. Because really, if your mom wouldn't have said anything, you would have not told the coaches that you were even
I wouldn't have
expected to go on a mission.
No, I talked to him multiple times before. I never brought it up. Yeah.
But do you feel as though you would have gone through that same avenue of partying and being wild, as you would say, which honestly, it's really, even when you describe it.
It was just normal.
From the rest of the world that are not Mormon, the things that you were doing was completely normal.
Oh, normal for freshmen in college, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, probably pretty mild.
It was just
pretty
a few
mild.
Times, yeah.
It was way more mild than I was.
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Way more mild than what I was. But do you feel as though you would have made the same decisions if you were at UC Irvine, you were at UCLA, playing water polo, having to, you had a job and a code and all of those things?
Probably would have done the same thing in college, yeah. I don't think it mattered where I was at. Is that what you mean?
Well, like, part of me just wonders as if you were also using that as a coping mechanism as well, because your dreams were basically taken from you and you were you were going to go on a mission, basically. I mean, you were.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, if you were not, like, because I know I've heard you say, well, you decided to go on a mission later because you were partying and all of those things.
I was 19, though, when I decided to go. It was right at the same time. Yeah.
But at 17, you obviously had to have had that same, you knew you were going on a mission because you didn't argue with your mom and say, no, actually, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fear within the church if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And I held that a lot as a kid. Like, if you don't, like, I remember swearing for the first time and just for days thinking I was, like, done for.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Just like, oh, my God, like, I'm done. Like, I'm, like, all those things. So you just live in fear. So when I had partied a couple times and done a little too much that semester of college, I felt like I needed, this wasn't good. My life was going to fall apart. All the bad things were going to happen. So the only way out of that was to go on a mission.
So then you get your mission call.
Got my
you
mission
put in
call.
your papers.
Put in my papers. Put in the call.
And you open up that mission call.
Yep.
And where are you going?
Nova Scotia, Canada.
How did that feel?
Oh, I didn't know where that was. I'd never heard of it. Like,
Okay.
I obviously heard of Canada.
I mean, it's Canada.
It was disappointing. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It was disappointing. It was English speaking Nova Scotia, Canada. Yeah.
And did you think you were going to go somewhere else?
I thought for sure, like, I was convinced my whole life that I would go, like, to Europe, mainly because my dad and his family came from Holland. Mm-hmm. They all speak Dutch. My mom's family's from Germany. I took German in high school. So I kind of took German in high school because it was kind of a family language. Plus I figured I'd go that direction on a mission.
And you speak it fluently.
Sometimes.
I was on a train with you when we were in Europe, and you were speaking to a guy in German, and you were able to have a conversation. I took 3 years of Spanish, and I can barely ask for the freaking bathroom. And you were having a full on conversation.
Yeah, I got by.
Yeah. But you spoke it fluently. So you kind of thought that you were
I thought for sure. Yeah.
Right. So
Holland
you were
or Germany
extremely disappointed.
I was disappointed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're convinced already. You're already told, you're committed your whole life that you go where God wants you to go. That's where you go. It's the right thing to do. So you get over that pretty quick. Like, okay, that's where I'm supposed to be. It's the right place to be.
And you filled out your own mission papers.
I did fill out my mission papers. Yeah. Years later,
probably 10 after or 15, you got home?
Yeah, way later. Like after we were married and had kids. Yeah, I got all this stuff, and I either got it or decided to look at it. Like, I'd never looked at that, and I looked at my copy of my mission paper. The papers were there, and I looked through it, and on towards the back there was a list of allergies or medical conditions, and there was this whole list in somebody else's handwriting. It was my mom's handwriting of all these allergies and food allergies and things that I've never had any allergies that bothered me in my life except for hay fever, and it was just a list of stuff on there, and I was like, that's. I don't really know how they pick where people go. You do know.
Now, after you've been in leadership, you do know. I have friends that their dad serves in that capacity, and they will tell you that if people have any sort of health conditions, they will keep you stateside.
So I felt like at that time, I remember just reading it, being like, that's why I ended up there because of all those things. I felt like I had been restricted from going to those other places. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Because she also said that you had severe asthma.
Yeah, it was asthma, which I do have some asthma, but it's athletic induced. I've never used an inhaler in my life except for playing extreme sports sometimes.
Which obviously you're not going to need knocking doors.
No, you wouldn't need any of that on a mission. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't need it on a mission.
No.
So later then you found that basically because your mom once again interfered.
I felt like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that I was restricted from going somewhere else. So it's kind of heartbreaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. Mainly because when you go, as far as a mission as a youth, you're pumped up, you're going to go somewhere crazy. You're going to go here, you're going to go there, you're going to learn a language. A lot of kids take Spanish and all these things because they're pretty sure they're going to go to South America or whatever. And so you get kind of pumped up as a youth that you're going to go somewhere awesome on your mission. And you have different people in your ward that have gone to somewhere crazy and you're like, oh, that's cool. And they give presentations and show you all their cool stuff. So you're pumped up for this cultural experience. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't, there was no cultural experience, right? I mean, very slight different from here. And I won't say my mission was a bad experience overall, but it wasn't the experience I had been trained for.
I mean, how was your mission?
It was mostly fine. Like there wasn't.
It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was super homesick at the beginning. Wished I didn't go. There was a period, and then it was just, we didn't baptize a whole lot. There's goods and bads. Like for me, it was good because I was a shy kid. Like even when we first met, I was way more shy and quiet than I am now. But
you're welcome.
Yeah, but as far as like the spiritual experience, there was moments that were good, but for the most part, we didn't baptize or teach a whole lot. So it was just knocking doors, grinding your wheels, out in the snow and cold and wondering what the hell you're doing here. There was a lot of that.
Did you cry?
At the beginning, yeah. It was rough. The first probably month or two was pretty rough, yeah.
Why? Because
I showed up in June, went to Newfoundland, which is an island up there, and it was snowy on the ground. It was snow in June. And I was like, I was from California.
So
I was
you
like,
cried
what
over
the hell
the snow?
is this? I just didn't want to be there. I was like, I want to go home.
Be there.
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like, I don't know anything about the church. Like, what is this? What am I doing here? 2 years nowadays. Now at this age, 2 years seems like nothing. At 19, that seems like a lifetime away. And it was like, this is 2 years of this, like with these random people I don't know in a nasty apartment in the cold. What am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've encountered a lot of wild things that had happened on your mission too, right? I mean,
oh gosh, so on my mission was my first exposure to. So when I went on my mission, I kind of went all in. Like once I decided to go the papers, I started reading the scriptures, doing all the things. I'm like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go. Like if I'm going to change my life, I'm going to go.
That's your personality.
Yeah, I didn't just I didn't just go. Like I did all the things and was ready and prepared and thought I was doing all the right stuff. The MTC was a lot of fun. When I went out there over the course of my mission, that's when I first realized that there are people in the church that are totally not committed. Mm-hmm. I mean, missionaries were getting sent home. They were sleeping with girls. They were making out. There was sneaking out. There was some that left the mission and went to a strip club. I mean, there was stuff that was happening.
This happened while you were on a mission?
All during the course of my mission.
Okay.
There was stuff that happened while I was there and happened previous to me being there. We got put in.
Why do you think that is?
Why, what is?
Like that they were doing all those things?
Well,
because they just didn't want to be there. Did you feel like that they were only there because they were expected to be there, and so they were still wanting to have all the fun that they were having before?
I think that they were having more fun than they were having before. They didn't have that fun.
Really?
They were just free to do what they wanted, and a lot of them were unfortunately, they were from Utah, a lot of them. And so going on a mission, you do that or you're exiled. Like you are a scarlet letter in Mormon communities if you don't go on a mission, at least at that time.
Oh, it's still like that too.
Yeah. And so if you don't go or you come home early, like, oh gosh, that kid's a sinner, something happened, like whatever. And so these boys just took their opportunity. They'd been living under the thumb their whole life, living more so than me. They were in a culture where they had no choice but to be Mormon. They had no choice. Also, the
restrictions then were a lot different than they are now as well, as far as on a mission, right?
What do you mean?
Like, well, they're giving them cell phones now.
Oh yeah, we had no cell phones. We were only allowed to call home Christmas and Mother's Day. Now they can call home every week. We didn't have email, so it was all handwritten letters every week. There was no communication. The clothing and haircuts were super strict. Now it's less so. Yeah, it's way looser and relaxed now. Like Facebook, Instagram, that didn't exist when I was on my mission, let alone like cell phones. We didn't have them. We had none of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, you weren't even allowed to use the regular phone to call anyone outside of your mission either. Yeah. You couldn't call home. You couldn't call any of those things. They can now kind of
every week. I think they're allowed to call home.
Yeah. It's a completely different experience now than it was then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We weren't allowed to do anything. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot different. So that was my first exposure to like people in the church that there were people in the church that weren't living it. They were just there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of shocking to me. I was like, what are you doing here on a mission if you're just going to go do that? Like it was confusing to me. It was really bizarre. I didn't understand.
So they were keeping up the appearance of putting in their time, going on a mission, but then they were off partying, going to strip clubs, all of those things on the side.
Yeah, we got what was called flushed in. So all the missionaries were taken out and new ones were put in. It was totally cleaned out because two of the missionaries had been sleeping with some gal.
Oh, well, the missionaries that baptized me, because, I got baptized at 19. Yeah. They went hot tubbing and stuff with us. I think they ended up even one of them ended up making out with one of my friends. But no.
It was
there's a lot of that. Yeah.
It was exposure to even we participated in the ward councils, which is with the bishopric meeting and stuff like that. And even seeing the people that didn't want to be there, you could tell they didn't want to be there. They didn't want to do their callings. They didn't, they were very like kind of annoyed by the whole thing, but they had to be there. Like exposure to that was strange for me. I didn't understand that.
So while you were on your mission, did you ever wish that you were playing water polo?
Yeah, there was moments came up and down. Yeah. But you also don't have any exposure to the news. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening with like my friends. I didn't know what was happening with the sport. There was no internet. There was no any of that. So you forget about it pretty quick.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know. I don't remember being like super upset and disappointed about that.
Because you're not even allowed to watch television as a missionary,
the only
right?
TV we were allowed to watch was when 9/11 happened.
It's
at the
insane.
End of my mission.
It's almost like you feel like you're in freaking China and you've got all these restrictions. Like you're not allowed to do this or that. You're not allowed to. Like everything is censored for missionaries.
Correct,
really? I mean, you can't watch TV. You can't call home. You can't see what's going on back at home. Like realistically, other than through snail mail, right? You can write mail and that is it. Letters through the mail.
And we were even told, like when we wrote letters, keep it positive and spiritual, uplift your family. So if you were struggling, you weren't supposed to tell them.
But they also tell the family back at home. Same thing. If anything happens that's bad, don't tell them. Yeah. And so everything is censored. 100%. For the missionaries.
Yeah. I think it's less now because they have access to all that. But at that time, it was super censored. Yeah.
Right. Because they're allowed to be on social media now. Right?
I think so.
As far as I understand.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. But there was none of that then.
No, that wasn't even a thing.
So that would be easy for you to not have any sort of regret while you're on a mission. Because you're not even allowed to be swimming, right? You can't swim. You can't be in the water.
No.
You can't.
You wouldn't want to up there anyway. It was too cold.
It doesn't matter. Even if you served in Hawaii. Even on your day off, your P day, you're not allowed to be in the water.
No. Unless you're baptizing. So we baptized. The few people we saw baptized were in like rivers and lakes and stuff.
So do you feel like your life would have been any different if you would have been able to go to, let's say, Germany or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah. So only because like a lot of the guys I've known that went on foreign speaking missions, that language, whatever it was, led them and opened opportunities for jobs or, whatever, to either live in those countries for a while, to get a job speaking that language. So I think it would have led to a different direction, good or bad. I don't know, but it would have been a different direction for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically, your mom, she shut down their college recruiters. That opportunity is now gone. And then she also alters your mission papers so that you are now not able to go anywhere foreign. You're stateside because of your make-believe health conditions, right? So why do you think that she did that? Do you think she did it because she was trying to help you or protect you? Or do you feel as though it was because of control? I mean, all of it obviously was done in the name of the church.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is it's all done in the name of the church. So like, as far as going on mission, that's just what you do. Why would you not do that? Like we're Mormon, you've grown up Mormon. Why would you not do that? I don't think that would even cross her mind. And then I was the only boy. So the expectation was higher for me because girls were less pushed to do it than they are now. It was very, very few women went on.
When I remember, it was basically that if you were not married by 21, then you would go on a mission, because girls didn't go on a mission until they were 21. But their first responsibility was to get married and have a kid. So you should be married by 21. I remember being almost 21. When I met you, I was almost 21. And I was actually thinking about going on a mission because, like I said, that's what's expected of you.
You're an old maid.
Basically, at 21. No, literally, you are programmed to think that way.
Imagine you on a mission.
No, I probably would have ended up at the strip clubs.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I mean, why do you think? Yeah, why do you think that was done?
I don't know. Like, I think honestly, like I don't know exactly why, but I think it's just because that's what you're supposed to do. Like that's how we were raised. That's what we grew up as. If the church says it, that's what you do. Like it's not a question. It's not a debate. That's just what you do. Yeah, that's life.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
But you had said as a young child, the church stuff was pushed very heavy. I mean, it was pushed above
all else. Yeah.
Anything else.
I thought so. Yeah. As far as the mission paper stuff, I have no idea. I don't know.
Did you ever ask her?
No.
Did you ever? Have you had a conversation with her?
Not
about
that. No. This is the first she'll hear of it. I try to just leave those things in the past, but they come up at some point. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're married to Mel,
because it's not fucking okay.
Well, yeah,
it's not okay.
And I think what's hard to understand, and I'm not defending anybody, but like when you're not in the church, like now with our kids, we look at options and we make a choice as to what they think is the best for them, and we help them make that decision based on options.
Yeah.
When you're in the church and you're fully in the church, that option is what the church tells you to do. There is no, let's talk about whether you're going to go on a mission or not. Let's talk about what's better for you to go play sports in college or to go on a mission. That's not a conversation. It's you're going on a mission. That's what you do. There is no
Right.
There's no conversation. That's not even a conversation. That's just what's going to happen.
Right.
And so that's just how it is when you're in the church and you're committed to it. The church tells you to do stuff. You go on a mission. You get home, you go to a church school, you get married, and you start a family. And those are like I said, there's no free agency. It's just what you're supposed to do. And it's what you're told your whole life, and every lesson, every talk, everything is just, this is what you do. And so, and if you don't agree with it, well, pray about it. Pray about it, and God will tell you that it's the right thing to do because you already told everybody else. So that's what you should do.
So what if God tells you something different than what he tells other people?
Well, you'd probably be encouraged to pray about it again.
That happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
What do you mean?
Exactly like that.
Go ahead.
Well, because do you remember when we used to not let our kids play sports on Sundays?
Yeah.
And it was causing quite a rift between us and our oldest son, right? I mean, he had a really hard time with it. It was a huge breakdown that he yelled at us and told us he was never going to go to church as soon as he turned 18. And I remember coming to you because you also didn't get to play sports on Sunday either.
No, that was a no.
And that's, I mean, so same thing. You would have tournaments or things.
During the summer, there was a few tournaments. I would have to leave early or whatever.
And you would be polled. You would not play. I mean, and for you to be the freaking goalie and them to poll you on Sunday, I can't even imagine how that. Also, I think it makes the church look bad. Like, how do you think that you're better than everybody else? Like,
well, what was hard to understand was there was one or two other boys that were Mormon as well, active Mormon, and they played on Sunday. They were fine with it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. And so the coaches were always like, well, they are, why aren't you? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just, we can't.
Did you ever try to argue with your parents over that?
Oh, yeah. I remember getting in a fit about it, and it was just what we do.
So same as our oldest, same thing. Except he succeeded.
Well, I don't think for them, we were able to sit and comprehend like the choice in the free agency. I don't think that that's not an option. If the church tells you. And
it wasn't an option for your parents either.
That's what I mean. For my parents, I don't think it was an option.
Did you tell your parents, hey, these other Mormon kids, they're playing on Sunday?
Oh, I'm sure I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it didn't matter?
Well, that's what we do in our family. We follow the church rules in our family.
Okay, so if they're breaking the church rules, they can do that. That's their choice. That's on them.
Yeah, but we will not.
But we will not be breaking the church rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
same as like drinking Coca-Cola and all those things.
I remember praying about it though. I remember praying about it with over our son, thinking like what's the right thing to do, because we also had our daughter coming up too, and same thing is, that championship game is on Sunday, and our kids they're not the bench warmer kids. They're a pretty pivotal part of the team, so to pull them on Sunday truly hurts the kids. And we were coaching some of the basketball teams
sometimes,
and so for us to also ask another parent to coach on Sunday and to step in when we worked so hard to get to this championship game, and then we're going to not just leave as a coach, but we're also going to take our kid with us. That's a star player.
Doesn't look good. And you're the one who set it up and convinced everybody to go, and then you're going to ditch them at the end.
Exactly. But I remember praying and getting that feeling. And I remember getting that feeling of, it's okay. You can let him play.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's fine.
And so I also felt as though let's make sure that they go to church on Sunday. So I remember being in big cities, right, that we were traveling to, and looking up church times. Saturday night, I was looking up church times on Sunday and looking at the championship game and making sure that we could also make sacrament. But that was not okay. I mean, I remember getting in trouble with the bishop, all the things, because somebody would post the championship thing on Facebook or Instagram, and
you were.
There I was, and we would get turned into the bishop, all the things, right? And it was not okay. It was not okay to break those rules. But I prayed, and I had a different.
You felt like it was fine? We felt like it was fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I mean, you're talking like a couple times a year.
I had a different feeling than than what other people were doing or what was okay in the church, and that was not okay. So we don't really get to pray about it and find out for ourselves. We're not allowed to do that, because I wasn't allowed to do that.
Not if it contradicts.
Right.
Yeah, not if it contradicts what that specific leader wants you to do.
But it's crazy, because you'll hear all these people like, I mean, we're going to get blown up. We're going to get blown up, and all these people be like, well, my kids play on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. You're going to hear it. Everybody says it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they do. Yeah. However, I wasn't allowed to.
And unfortunately, that's goes with something that I've heard called bishop roulette, leadership roulette.
The rules completely depend upon what bishop you get.
100%.
Yeah.
And where you live in the country.
And state presidency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And so, yes, I'm sure there are people that have no problem with their kids playing on Sunday.
Right.
I'm sure there's leadership that don't care. It's here and there. I'm sure there is. But there's also other places where it's worse than we had it. Like, they'll take your temple recommend away. I mean, those things happen, and it varies. So it's just hard, because the church isn't the same everywhere, and not everybody has the same idea what works culturally in the church, and that varies from location to location, and it's super frustrating. Yeah. And it's hard. Yeah. It can be hard. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand. So when it comes to free agency, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't feel as though we got that.
No,
we didn't have free agency to decide for ourselves what we thought was best for our own kid.
Well, you have the free agency, but somebody's going to contradict it and come after you and say, well, you're wrong. Why choose to do that? Well, you're wrong to do it. I'll take something away. Well,
no, the bishop had told Caden, our son, that he
couldn't pass the sacrament.
He couldn't pass the sacrament, and that he needed to stand up to his parents and tell us that us letting him play on Sunday was not okay, and it was against the church rules.
You marched right in there.
Yeah, and told him to fuck off.
Yeah.
That was great. So, okay, so let's go back to your mission. Walk me through, like, what was a regular day in the mission like? What is that?
It's the same every day.
Every day.
Wake up, I don't know, it was 6:30 or something like that. You do your study, your scriptures. You did companionship study.
You're never allowed to be alone, right?
No.
Without another person, a companion. So,
yeah, always.
So, okay, so when these...
And I understood that when I realized all these guys sleeping around and making out with chicks all the time as to why that was.
How does that happen?
Well, their companions were doing it too. Sometimes they were taking turns. Sometimes they were fine with it. One of them was kind of hooking up with another friend.
Okay.
Like, you got to have a companion who's in on it with you. One guy could sneak. I mean, you could sneak out at night.
So they're both going together to the strip club, right?
Like, they drove out of the mission to another state, province, and went and did all that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hours away.
And you never did any of that?
No. I did what I was supposed to do. I was a good missionary. I did all my stuff. I mean, the worst I did was lazy sometimes.
Obviously, you were obedient.
Yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. I mean, I was there.
You literally
I was there to do a job.
Put your dream on hold to do this.
That's
we are aware that you are obedient.
I did what I was supposed to do. I wasn't the best. I was not the worst. I did pretty good. I had leadership positions, did my stuff, and I did what I was supposed to do because I'm a worker. I can go to work.
Okay, but how was it going from being able to work out like athletically, pushing yourself, to not being even able to exercise?
So that kind of went in waves. Most missionaries try to work out because a lot of them did some sort of sports and stuff like that, and it was encouraged to do it. Like our mission president, his wife was a nurse and encouraged us to do it.
So did you have weights? Could you go to the gym?
Almost every apartment that I was in had some sort of weights in it, dumbbells or whatever.
Okay.
Push-up bars, ab wheels. Those were in almost every apartment from other missionaries. So I did do some working out, and that went in waves. Like I was in one apartment that we had a whole weight, like cable machine in the basement. Like
so you could lift weights, but you could
lift weights or go running if your companion wanted to run. So I did have one of my companions from England. He liked to run.
Okay.
And so I would go running with him sometimes, but
swimmer.
I hate running.
Yeah, the swimmer.
I hate it.
Yeah,
So I'd be like, bro, I can see you, just run down there. So he'd run and do his thing, and I'd watch it. He'd come back. So I was like, I ain't running. This was more towards the end, anyways.
Oh yeah, but you met me. You went for runs.
I would
with
for
me.
you.
Yeah,
I'll do it for you as long as I'm about 5 feet behind you. I like that view. I'll run.
Yeah, but that's got to be quite a change to go from swimming and being able to,
Yeah, so I hadn't done anything for a few months at that point, but yeah, it was different because I enjoyed it. Like I loved it. It was fun. I liked doing all those things, and then you're to nothing. You're just like read scriptures and all day long.
Well, were there moments that you were like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah, so I remember living in an apartment with a guy who was a football player, and he was supposed to go back and play at BYU. And at that, we were both like, dude, there's no way. Like, just because I talked about sports and we were big into that. And it was like, after 2 years of this, you lose all your muscle mass. Like, I wasn't fat. I wasn't skinny. I was just like skinny fat kind of. When I came home, we were both like, this is like an impossible task.
Because you're not on the same lifting program as you were when you left.
No, and you lose that quick, especially over 2 years. And then to try to start over at the age of 21 to do that again, it's a full year of commitment, and that's not what you're supposed to do when you go home.
So did your companion, he didn't go back because he was going to go to BYU, which is a church school. So you would think they would hold the scholarship for him, right?
He did go back to BYU. I don't think he ever played football though.
Is that what you're trained or programmed to want to do when you come back?
You are programmed. So they tell you when you go home, how hard you work on your mission is how hot your wife's going to be. So obviously I was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's always the thing. And then it's like, they tell you when you go home, now your job, your mission now is to go find a wife, start a family, continue God's plan. That's your job when you get home. Yeah. Go do that.
Okay.
So why does everybody get married so quickly when they get to BYU when they're Mormon kids, whatever? Because you need to get married quick. Get married. That's your job.
That's what they tell you.
Yes. Get home and get married.
Who tells you that?
Mission president, leadership. It's you can find it in writing. You can find it in talks. You can find it everywhere. Your job is to go home, get married, find a wife, start a family, start the plan.
Yeah.
That's your job when you get home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you came home, how did you decide that you were going to go to a church school?
I wasn't really going to, but my friend was going, and after I was home for a bit, I didn't want to stay at home.
Just because somebody else was,
yeah,
basically.
He was going, and I was like, he kind of was like, bro, go with me. Let's go. I don't want to go by myself. And I was like, all right, I'll go.
So playing water polo wasn't even on the radar when you came home. So you left as an All-American. You come home, you're a top D1 recruit for water polo out of California. You're a big fucking deal. You come back 2 years later and it is not even a thought for you.
It came up. So I will give my mom credit she did communicate with BYU Hawaii, who has a water polo team.
Well,
and
she absolutely was going to make sure that you go to a church school.
Well, absolutely. That was the only option, but she set that up and got it going, and they wanted me to come play there, but I'd been gone for 2 years and there was no scholarship. So I came home. So
even a church school wouldn't even give you a scholarship based upon all of the accolades that you had in high school.
Yeah, but they wanted me bad.
Well, I'm sure they did. Yeah.
And so I considered it, but the problem was I didn't have the money. Like, I couldn't get to Hawaii. My parents didn't have the money to really help me. I'd just spent all my money on my mission, and I didn't.
How much did it cost at the time?
It's roughly 10 grand for the 2-year mission.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. Right around there.
I'm sure it's more now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that goes up. Yeah.
And every mission was the same, right? Like,
it was the same. Everybody
no
paid
like
whatever it was, $400 or $500 a month. Everybody across the world paid the same. So when I got home, I had that. I could have done that, but it wasn't really realistic. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the time. I couldn't have sent my car over there, but I did kind of think about staying and playing at a junior college again and just see if I could get back into it. And ultimately I was just, I was programmed that that's not my job. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to get to finding a wife and doing my job and moving on with life. Yeah. That ship has sailed.
Yeah. And not just a wife, but it has to be a Mormon wife.
Well, a hot Mormon wife.
Oh, that's right. Because you work so hard on your mission.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They really teach you that?
Plus, I'm vain. Nobody teaches you that. It's just like a joke between missionaries.
Yeah.
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 It's just like a joke. It's just like a fun joke thing. Okay. It's not, nobody taught that. It was never told to us by any leadership. That was just, but you hear about it from everyone in every mission. So it goes around. Yeah.
Wait, so the AP guy that was on, cause that's what's it called? What's the AP? What does
the
it stand
AP are
for?
there's two assistants to the president. So they're like the head missionaries.
Okay. So he worked really, really hard.
Super good missionary. It was awesome.
Right?
And he has a great husband.
Yes. So how hot is his husband?
Very good looking.
He came home gay.
He has a good looking husband.
Wow.
Yeah. He came out gay a few years later, which was also a shocker for me.
Really?
And yeah, it was just kind of odd. Like, he was the missionary. He was a great dude, really nice guy, good looking guy, just super great guy. Like and it was just shocking. Like, of all the people, I was like, that's shocking. It shocked me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's great. Good for him. But it was shocking. I was like, man, I never would have guessed.
So what was it like when you came home off of your mission?
There's a lot of, you feel like you're just wasting time in your life. Like you come home and you have nothing to do. You feel like, you're ingrained your whole mission. Like you need to be doing something productive to like teach people. And you come home and it's just like, what am I doing? So for a week or so, I was just like trying to live the missionary kind of time frame, studying the scriptures, doing church stuff. And then I was so freaking bored. I went and I got a job and just worked all summer a lot. And then kind of dated a girl for a while and then left for college.
She wasn't hot enough though, huh?
She wasn't hot enough. And that's kind of also, this is rude, but I was kind of over it when the summer was over. I wasn't really good at like breaking up. So I just went to college.
You're still like that. If you don't want to,
I'll just ghost. I ain't dealing with it. I'll ghost out.
I am not having this conversation. I don't
want
to
do this.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to. It's not fun. So yeah, I came home in like May or so and then went to school. So September, August, whenever BYU starts.
Yeah. So basically when it was an option for you to go and walk on at BYU Hawaii, which is crazy because it's not even that great of a school.
I don't know where they fit in. I don't know if it's D1 or what. I don't really know. I actually have no idea.
I don't think so. Either way, it's not one of the top schools out of California that you were getting recruited to. And so one of these other schools, they're basically just offering you a walk-on. You got to pay for everything.
But I do remember at that time I could have gone to the community college again and played another year and got back into it and probably gone to a bigger school for another 2 years after.
Why didn't you want to do that?
I just didn't want to. It was too much work. It was a lot. I didn't have money, so I was like, I don't have a lot of money. I don't want to do it. Like it was too much. Like I hadn't played for 2 years. I wasn't committed to that, and I was way too programmed to think that was selfish. I needed to get moving with life, get to school, get the wife, do the thing.
Did you ever feel like you really had independence even on a mission though? I mean, because you're always living with somebody.
Yeah, but I was like the senior companion the whole time. So I was the one in charge most of my mission.
So like if God is supposed to like basically award you for your obedience, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you ever question why when you came back, you weren't like awarded with being able to play again somewhere?
Yeah, but I think you missed the point. I was so programmed at that point. I didn't want to play anymore. You can't fathom
into what? No, I cannot.
That my job was to come home, find a wife, get to school. That's what they tell you. Get a wife, get school. That's your job. That's what God wants you to do. So at that point, I was so programmed into that's the goal that really committing and thinking about and really looking at options to play that sport weren't really on the radar. Like, did it cross my mind? Yeah. Did I think about it? Yeah. But was it really what I was going to do? No. My job is to get out and do this.
So when you left though, before you left on your mission, did you think that you would be coming back and playing water polo when you got back?
I kind of knew when I left that when I left, it was done. Like I knew too many athletes that had gone on missions and come back that didn't play. So, and I tell that to kids now, if you think you're going to go on a mission and come back and play sports, you probably won't. Almost nobody does. Very small percentage are successful at it. I knew that when I left.
Right.
So I'd kind of,
but the church will always, or people in the church will always talk about these 2 or 3 people that
there's a few
it works.
Some do it. Yeah. Some can do it. And it's just too much work. It's not that you can't. It's possible. It's just a lot of work, man. You go on a mission for 2 years, you lose everything.
Well, and their mission president wasn't doing their job very well if they didn't teach them that their primary job was to come back and find a wife.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't.
It's hard for you to fathom, but I came home and that wasn't hardly on the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just what you're programmed to do.
Well, because you're also programmed to think that, you will be blessed because of this obedience. And so you were obedient. So why, when you come back, did you not get blessed with what the opportunity that you had before?
Because the blessings now are family and job and all the things.
Yes.
Yeah. I could have done all of that. I could have gone to school and played. I could have gone to church. I still could have done all the church things, found the wife, found the family, and done all of it. It is possible to do all of those things. It's not one or the other.
Yeah.
I saw it as one or the other. I could have done all of it very easily. People do it. Professional athletes do it. They're active members of the church and they do these things and they can commit to it and do all the things and still be an active member of the church. When I came home, I was programmed to do what I was supposed to do. Going to sports wasn't, you can't fathom it and you keep pushing it. I didn't have that choice. I didn't have that in my brain when I came home.
Well, before you were saying it's about money.
Yeah,
it was about that you couldn't financially,
but I wasn't that committed.
It.
It wasn't, there was no money, and I wasn't that committed to playing. I'm like, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to do it because I needed to go do other things.
You're not being real, truthful, any of those things. You're going back and forth, and you're not being honest about any of it. Like you're back and forth. You're literally saying that the church programmed you to believe in that, but you don't have any sort of resentment because you had a choice, but you didn't really have a choice. There was no choice. Does that make sense? Like you didn't have a choice. You were programmed to make the choice that they want you to make.
Correct. Yeah.
So how is there no resentment? Because you're basically you are being controlled. You were being controlled. Your entire life, you have been controlled to think a certain way, to make a certain decision. There was no free agency. How do you not have any sort of resentment towards that?
I do have resentment towards the church and like wishing I could have had more control over my life until we left. 100%. But I don't have regret in how my life turned out. You know what I mean? Like that's why it kind of goes both ways. Like if I go back, if I rewind and I could remake the choice to not go on a mission and to play sports, do I want to see how that played out? Yeah, I'd love to see how that played out. Just who wouldn't? Like, I'd love to see how that played out, how I did. Did I make it? Did I do it? Did I do well? Did it go beyond? Did I get to play in Europe? Like a lot of these guys play in Europe. But my life today is what it is. Would I give up this for that? You see what I mean? Like, that's why it's hard to like say, do I resent it? Yeah, I kind of wish I could have seen where that have gone. 100%. I do. And it's hard because I wish I could have had the strength to make my own choices early on instead of just doing what the church wants you to do. And when you grow up in the church and you have a cultural and religious and physical experience where everything is the church, it's hard to see that you have options outside of that. Like you almost don't even know they exist because this is just what you're supposed to do. So you think your free agency is doing what the church says and you'll be blessed and everything will be good. That's what God wants you to do. But in reality, you could do whatever the hell you want at any given time. You can say, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And that's fine. You're not going to hell because you made a choice. And to me, that's the lesson for me in all of that is that like, it's been kind of weird the last 5 years when things come up, we sit down and we make a choice. There's no book, there's no manual, there's no bishop telling you this is what the church wants you to do. You just do whatever you want and make a choice. Yeah, I felt like the path was defined. Like, do I have like, was I upset or was I angry or was I happy? No, it just was I was supposed to do. That's why it's so hard to explain. Like, was I upset? Did I have regret? No, because at the time, that's just what you do. Like, you're so programmed to like, you go on a mission that it bothered me. It made me upset, but I was like, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, you're so like brainwashed into this is what you're supposed to do. This is how it works. This is how your life plays out. If you were a Mormon young man, the A, B, C, D, this is your outline. And so I think it's hard to explain to an outsider. Like, you didn't grow up in the church. So it's hard to explain. Like, when you get to that point, you don't really like kick against it because you've had at that point 18 years of this is what you're supposed to do. When it comes up, that's just what you do. Well,
but then on the flip side, our son, he grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He did all the things that you did, same path. Didn't play sports on Sunday until high school came along. But he had no problem standing up to us and saying, I don't want to do that.
He did, yeah. He's you.
And yeah, we are very similar. But he had no problem saying, hey, I don't want to play sports in college. I just want to go to school.
Yeah.
I want to become a dentist. It's going to be hard enough. I just want to go. I want to get good grades. And and now he's playing intramurals and just having a good time.
Yeah.
Playing sports like for fun, just like he did when he was younger.
Yeah.
And it was hard for us. I think it was harder for us to accept that he
didn't want to play sports anymore.
Yeah, because we felt as though he was throwing away all of this talent that all these other kids would absolutely kill for.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't understand like how Like, you don't have any resentment that you didn't get the same chance, or you didn't feel as though you could stand up for what you wanted?
So let me paint an example that you are familiar with.
Okay.
You're an active Mormon, but rewind 10 years.
Okay.
Bishop calls you in. You've got young kids. You're busy. They're in sports. And the bishop calls you as young women's president. Mm-hmm. Do you want to do it? Do you know you're supposed to do it? But what do you say? Do you accept the call?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're told that you're supposed to.
It's the same. You get to that point where you can't say no. It's what you're supposed to do. When you turn 19, you do it. Do you want to? Not really. Do you have other options? Yes. Would you rather not do it? Yeah, but it's what you're supposed to do, so you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. And that's the only way I can explain it to somebody who didn't grow up in that, is that that's what you do. They ask and you do. You can't say no. You'll go to hell if you say no.
Okay, so if you could go back, would you still serve a mission? If you could go back.
Oh, God.
If you could rewind and you're sitting there with those college recruiters and they're wanting you to come play at their school.
I would love to see how that played out.
What would you have done differently? What would you tell yourself if you were sitting here and you were able to be on your shoulder at 17, 18 years old? What would you now tell that kid?
Go for it.
Go for what?
Go for the scholarship. Give it a go. See how it plays out. Mm-hmm. Try it.
Stand up.
I might have gone for a month and
stand
fell
up
out.
to the church. Yeah. Do it.
I might have not made it a semester. I might have not made it a month. I don't know. I might have made it 4 years. Might have gone to the Olympics. Might have played in Europe. Who knows?
But
don't
that
know.
There shows me that you have regret.
But it's...
Yes, you do.
Yeah. There's some regret. I wish I would have played that out.
Yeah.
But it's hard now to say, would you trade your life now for that? No, not now.
Well, how do you know if it would have been any different? I truly believe that if you're meant to be with somebody, that you would end up together. Maybe it would have been better.
God, I hope so.
The
sex would have been better earlier.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Right.
Yes, I would tell that boy to give it a go. Try.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I feel like we parent differently because you went through that, where you were controlled.
Yes.
Your future was controlled. Your future was decided for you, regardless of any of your own dreams, or if they were different from what was decided for you.
Yeah. You followed the church outline, and that's what we were taught to do, was follow the church outline. Regardless of how it works out, this is what you do. The thing that makes me the most upset about the church and the way they program their members is that they teach free agency, yet you have none. Make a choice, do what God wants you to do, and as long as it lines up with what we told you to do, that's okay. And to me, that's not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to be faced with a choice, make it, and either grow from it or learn from the mistake. And when you don't have that choice, I feel like you're losing a lot of the purpose of life, which is to make mistakes, make good choices and be happy about it and be successful because of it and take pride in that. Make mistakes and fall and scratch yourself and learn from it and become better from it. And I feel like in the church, they take a lot of that away by just saying, if you do this, you'll be happy. And then you feel content and you feel good and you feel like you're doing the right thing. So everything's happy and you're good and you're totally unfulfilled. Well, Mel, where is it that true happiness comes from?
Well,
what do they tell you in every conference, in every meeting, in every Ensign article, in every scripture? True happiness comes from living the gospel of Jesus Christ as defined by the church. So when you don't do that, when that doesn't work for you, what have you lost? True happiness.
Okay, so would you say that going on a mission is mostly about knocking doors and bringing people to the church? Is that the purpose that they send these kids on missions?
So I would say no. It's not about converting others. It's about converting the individual. And you're kind of told that on your mission, but I think what the reality is you're not converting an individual, you're locking them in.
What do you mean? Like you're told what on your mission?
That you're there to convert yourself as much as you are other people. Like they told us that, but looking back on it and
what does that mean?
To me, it means that you're basically brainwashing and locking somebody in. So those years now at 18, so now you don't even have a year to go to college. You're straight out of high school. You're 2 years. That's critical time for almost any person to leave home, find out who you are, get to know yourself, make those choices, have your free agency, and decide kind of what kind of person you are. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the church is basically taking that away and saying, this is who you're going to be. You're going to go on a mission. You're going to do the 2 years. You're going to lock it into the things that we want you to learn, to the person we want you to be. And so we're going to take away the experience of getting to find out yourself and have your free agency and basically force you into fitting the mold.
Okay. I think I follow what you're saying. So a lot of times when people get their freedom, so basically you graduate from high school and you go to college your first year, you move out, right? So then usually, let's say somebody is raised in a church environment, such as the Mormon church. If they went to college, then they could essentially kind of start exploring, seeing if there is something different that maybe they want to explore, right? Mm-hmm. Like to figure out what they want to be, what they want to do, start thinking for themselves. Because before you're basically just kind of doing whatever you've been taught at home.
What your parents do. Most kids do what their parents do.
Right, right. But then once you get out of the house, this is your time to be able to figure out what you want to be, what you want to do, what your likes, interests are, and not so much what you have been exposed to, but that you can be exposed to more things. And is what you're saying is that for the church to do that, even moving the age from going to 19 to 18, because I'm sure that they probably lost some people between 18 and 19, and their hope was then to just get more people out on a mission right away, straight out of high school, because then you're removing that year of exploring, that year of losing them to exploring, right? Is that kind of what you were saying?
That's what I think. And there's people that go both ways. I mean, you had that experience and went to church and started going to church. So it's not like not everybody gets driven away, and it doesn't mean you'll lose or gain or whatever. It's just everybody needs time to find themselves away from home and away from their parents. That's everybody. Our kids do it. They're doing it now. They're figuring it out. And I feel that the church takes that away and says, this is who you are. This is what you're going to be.
Right.
And you lock that in.
Because they're basically taking these kids right out of high school, putting them into a mission setting where they are doing church stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are always with a companion, right? You are now even more in it than you were before.
Oh, way more, yeah.
And now then once you come back at 20 years old, you are then told you need to go and you need to find yourself a spouse and get married. So then there's still not that time to be able to sow your wild oats in a way, right?
Yeah, or just find yourself. Like I know you could take examples of people you knew in high school that a year or two out of high school, they're totally the opposite of whatever they were. And you don't get that opportunity to do that, good or bad, like to make those mistakes or to make those good choices or to change for the better or for the worse. You don't. You just get told, this is how it is. This is what you're going to do, and this is who you're going to be. I don't feel like that's free agency. That's not real free agency.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. So really, this entire episode isn't really about sports. It's not really about church. It's really about being able to find your own story and writing your own story and not letting everybody else write it for you. If you had any sort of advice that you would give to, a senior in high school that is even a guy or a girl that was going to go on a mission, what would you tell them? This is what I do tell a number of kids. Like, if you want to go on a mission and you feel that it's the right thing for you to do, then you should do that. But if you don't feel that way, or if you're just doing it because your parents told you to do it, or because you think it's what you're supposed to do,
then don't do it. If you have other plans, other options, and you feel that that's what you need to do, you want to go to college, you want to play sports, you want to go get a job, whatever those things are, if you feel that that's what you should do, then go do it. You should be not required to go because you feel obligated. I felt obligated that it was what I was supposed to do. It's what you do when you're a Mormon boy. You just go, and you're told that. Every worthy boy should go on a mission. Like, it's a requirement. They say it's optional, but it's a requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really love that. I feel like people are intimidated into going on a mission. Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Because I remember, I remember people saying when I was at BYU, Idaho, like, if, because they would have these kids right out of high school that would go to BYU, Idaho for a year, and then they would go on a mission. Some of them would go there for a year, and then they kind of thought maybe they didn't want to go. And I had one friend in particular, and he said, like, if he doesn't go, he was afraid that nobody would want to marry him when he came back, because they all want to marry the RMs, the return missionaries.
He probably wasn't wrong. He probably eliminated a lot of people.
Yeah. Honestly. And then that also, like, it really narrows it down on who you're able to date, because a lot of those girls, they won't date you.
Yeah.
If you haven't been on a mission. And why are they groomed to say that?
The same,
or make you feel that way?
The grooming is the same as grooming boys to go on a mission. It's the same. That's just what you do. That's what it is. It's the only way a male is worthy, is if they've gone on a mission.
It just seems really gross to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grooming was the best word for that.
Grooming, right?
Yeah. It's all, you're groomed to do all those things. So when it happens, there isn't a choice. You just do it.
Well, and you are basically told that you have a choice, but your choice has to be that has to be your choice.
I mean, yeah, but if it's so much in your head that any other choice than that is the wrong decision, it's bad. You're going to go to hell. Your life will fall apart, all of the things.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. For every Mormon boy who lost his dream in the name of obedience, or every parent who thought that they were doing the right thing, we feel you. Hit follow, drop your comments, and tell me, would you have gone on that mission, or would you have chased your dream? Until next time, blame it on Mel.